Greetings, ladies and gentlegents, and welcome to this guest narration done by Nesten, who came in clutch while I was recovering from Rona and recorded this for the channel. And as always, I hope that you all enjoy.
Presence by user Kanal. The massive space station doesn't technically have a name, despite being a, if not the, major trade hub for the sector. This, of course, doesn't mean it doesn't get called things aside from massive or various expletives if some sophont has a poor time there. One such being sits at a bar, as establishments for abusing various thinking and filtering organs are only slightly less common as establishments for recreational procreation. This particular bar is among the seedier, as even the most prosperous of gigantic trade hubs will have clientele that would rather authorities didn't know about them, and those self-same entities enjoy pleasurable self-destruction. But let's get back to our unhappy sophont, shall we? College sucks, whinges the scrawny Milk, a chittened race most closely resembling a squid that decided to wear a praying mantis, and painted it a fetching purple. He nurses his chosen intoxicant, an inhaler of helium, lamenting his current predicament. No, the bar is not his problem. He rather feels it's his solution. Or at least the first step. Our Milk here needs to find a project for a xenobiology major. Unfortunately, nothing has captured his attention. And so he sits and laments, while the seedy patrons of the bar consider if a college student has enough credits to beat out of him to be worth it. He does, but they don't know it yet. Our student also has a plan for his issue, beyond giving himself an impressive hangover. Prosperity Station, as his people call this trade hub, is a place where anything is for sale. Slem, our Milk, happened to see an advertisement for something that captured his curiosity. Xenotours! Want to get away? Really get away? Come to Xenotours! Our highly trained crew will take you to exotic planets, moons, asteroids, and more. Some never before set foot, or other appendage, on by thinking creatures. Slem stares at the ad on his tablet as he takes another breath of his helium. It could be a scam, but likely not. Prosperity might look the other way with smuggling, and overlook all kinds of slimy wording, but false advertising is not taken lightly. If these Xenotours could take him somewhere actually new, he could have an interesting project. His mandibles wriggle in a smile as he imagines some great discovery, all to himself, before he notices something, and he's not sure what. Perhaps even more concerning, it seems the entire bar has noticed it too. Every being there, aside from the bartender, has frozen, looking at one of the walls, or perhaps past the wall. The various patrons start to pay their tabs, some being calm, and some needing to be stopped by the bouncer before they can skip out. As it continues, movements start to get more insistent, more nervous. While the first patrons to leave would simply set chits on the bar or their table, the last one to leave simply gave his credit stick to the bouncer, finding a speedy egress to be worth everything in his account. Slem, however, doesn't leave. He can't leave, as he's supposed to meet his tour guide here. This, of course, doesn't keep him from growing more and more concerned, an instinct of approaching danger slicing through the haze of helium like a vibroblade. His tentacle quivers only slightly as he pays his tab, wondering what could have possibly made the others clear out, and considering doing the same himself. You're new around here, says the barkeep, a Smarthic. Smarthics are quadrupedal, quadrimanual mammals with shockingly thick fluffy fur, looking almost spherical because of their amazing floof. Generally seen as friendly and harmless, Slem looks at this one like each soft hair could be a nanowire spike. What? I said you're new around here, and if you don't know why the bar cleared out. Slem looks horrified as he realizes his internal musings were not actually internal after all. The barkeep simply chuckles as he cleans glasses and other means of transporting and consuming intoxicants. There's a new species discovered a couple dozen systems over. Apex predator, but they don't look like it. He chuckles again as he sets a glass in its place. Pictures don't do them justice, but any who's actually met one can tell right away they're next to something dangerous. They just have some kind of presence. Talking up the boogeyman again, cousin it? Slem freezes, every instinct screaming at him not to bring attention to himself, even as the bartender gives a long, suffering sigh. You know that's not my name, Ted. The danger silently gets closer, giving several soft barks that surely spell Slem's doom. It was that or Triple, and trust me, Cousin It is the better nickname. Even if you'd have to get a flattening perm to make it actually fit. Slowly, Slem turns to bring the being of terror into view, and has to agree with the bartender's opinion. 2 legs, 2 arms, 5 digits at the end of each arm. No claws. Probably no claws at the end of the legs either, and with that odd covering. No hooves either, not with that strange shape. Almost no fur, aside from the patch on the head and a little above the mouth and eyes. No fangs either. Only the silent movement and the overwhelming aura of fear mark this being as a potential danger. Its demeanor clearly isn't threatening either. Then those eyes focus on Slem, and the only reason he doesn't soil himself is because every last fiber of his being refuses to do anything that could attract attention. He doesn't even manage a squeak when the being speaks to him. Ah, you must be my tourist. The bartender pokes the avatar of fear in the shoulder. Stop torturing him and go get him acclimated, Ted. Ted pouts for a moment before smirking. Can't blame me for enjoying this a little, It. We were all expecting aliens to be the terrifying ones, not us. Still, he stands and approaches Slem. The poor Milk unable to even look away as his death casually, silently approaches. A single digit extends, Slem's mind working overtime, imagining all the horrible ways it could end him. It makes contact, just above his mandibles, and instinct only has one last option to try and protect the Milk. Mandibles, tentacles, claws, all flash in panicked speed, all effortlessly deflected, parried, or captured. Slem can only tug in vain at the titanic grip this creature has on his limbs. It takes him a moment to realize he's been so bested by only a single of the monster's limbs too. That digit, once more, approaches his head, aimed just above his mandibles. He can only go limp and hope his death is quick. Boop. Oblivion is much more confusing than he expected. What? A smile greets the confused Milk, Ted letting him have control of his limbs back. How you feeling, kid? Slem simply stares at the odd being, trying to parse what just happened. That feeling of fear is still there, but it's not so overwhelming anymore. It's almost comforting, actually. Dread made flesh, and yet doesn't mean him harm? His thoughts race. Ted smiles again and turns to the barkeep. Get my tourist a drink, or a whatever. I don't know, what his kind eats to calm down. An inhaler is tossed his way, and he catches it out of the air, confusing Slem even further, before the familiar feel of a helium inhaler in his tentacle calms him down. He takes a few deep breaths, all while Ted smiles and gently pats his back. There you go, kid. Just take it easy. It always takes 2 boops to get an alien over that fear. Slem wiggles a few tentacles in negative, still scared, but like a blaster on a table, instead of a blaster pointed at my head. Ted laughs and claps Slem's back. Ha! That's a good way to put it, kid. You're gonna be fine. He gets a can of something from the bartender, and opens it with just his hands. That pop indicated a pressurized vessel, and Slem can smell the ethanol from the other side of the room. And Ted just takes a deep drink of it? Ah, that's the good stuff, It. So, kid, you give any thought to what kind of tour you want? I got an oxygen reading from a moon a good dozen systems away. If you're looking for something new, I have a good feeling about that one." Slum can only nod, still trying to figure out exactly what he's looking at. But his academic mind has come to a decision. Whatever it is, it's going to make for a great project.
The algorithm reckons you should be watching this video next, and I recommend that you should be always watching my video. So, click with energy! And yes, clicking that does help the channel. Thank you very much. I just want to give a quick thanks to the Tier 5 patrons and channel members. Alithia, Barky, Fudic Yol, Cam Maxwell, Caspar Onholtz, White Van 420, Lord Azrakal, Arcadian, and Oakfield.